I've always believed that families aren't perfect. They're messy, complicated, loud, and sometimes even unfair. But unfair doesn't begin to describe what mine became. From childhood till adulthood, my mother's love had always been selective. Not absent, just carefully distributed. And somehow I never made the list. My sister, Hira, 3 years younger, was the light of her world, the golden girl, the dream child, the one she proudly showed off at weddings, in WhatsApp groups, to random neighbors who didn't care. Me? I was the one who managed. I was the one who doesn't need much. I was the one she believed would always figure things out without help. But the truth was, I was drowning long before my collapse made it obvious. It was a Tuesday morning, cloudy, quiet, suffocating. I was sitting at my narrow study table, calculating for the millionth time how I was supposed to survive the next month. Rent was due, 2 university fees pending, groceries barely enough. My part-time job was cutting my hours. I was staring at numbers that refused to add up. When my phone buzzed, a bank notification, and then a message from my dad. "Baby, I transferred $3,500. Use it for your studies and whatever you need. I'm proud of you." I burst into tears, the kind that choke you silently. I hadn't even asked him. He somehow saw me without me saying a word. My mother was in the kitchen when I walked out, tear-streaked and relieved. "You okay?" she asked, not looking up from the dough she was kneading. "Dad sent me money, $3,500. I can finally pay the fees." "Oh, good," she said casually. Then she changed the subject as if I had just told her the weather. I didn't expect excitement, but a little recognition would have been nice. Still, I was too relieved to care. Or so I thought. 2 days later, I logged into my account to pay my university fee. And it wasn't there. My hands froze. Balance, $7.18. I refreshed. Refreshed again. Nothing. My heart dropped like someone had pulled the ground out from under me. I ran to my mother. "Ami, where's the money?" She didn't even blink. "Oh, that," she said. "I transferred it to Hira." My brain stopped functioning. "What?" "She needed it," she said, wiping her hands on a towel. "She wants to enroll in that photography course. It's her dream." I stared at her. "My tuition is due tomorrow." "Yes, but you're already studying. Hira has nothing right now. Let her try something." $3,500, Ami, I whispered, voice cracking. "That was for me. Dad sent it for me." "Don't be selfish," she snapped. "You always manage. Your sister needs support right now." That sentence, "you always manage," it has haunted me for years. It's what she used every time she chose my sister over me. It was the excuse for every bruise she hid, every sacrifice she expected, every time she made me invisible. I walked back to my room, numb, shaking, my ears ringing. I messaged Dad. "Thank you for sending the money. It helped." I lied, because I didn't want to dump my mother's betrayal onto him again, and because, somewhere deep inside, I hoped she would put it back. She didn't. Hira posted a photo the next day, holding a brand new DSLR camera with the caption, "Finally investing in my dream." My $3,500, my dad's help, my survival, her Instagram aesthetic. I tried to take more shifts at work. They gave me 1 extra hour a week. I sold my jewelry. It covered groceries. I skipped meals. It saved a little more. I borrowed books instead of buying them. I stayed up nights studying. I pretended everything was fine, but my body knew the truth long before my mind admitted it. The shaking hands, the dizziness, the headaches, the heaviness in my chest. I brushed it all off. After all, I always manage, right? 4. The night I collapsed. It was after 11 p.m. and I was hunched over my laptop finishing an assignment due in the morning. I hadn't eaten properly in 2 days. I'd been working a double shift earlier. My head felt like it was filled with sand. Suddenly, the screen blurred. My vision tunneled. A sharp pain shot up my ribs. I tried to stand, but the room spun violently, and then everything went black. I woke up to the beeping of a heart monitor and a tube in my hand. A doctor stood by my bed. My dad was beside me, eyes red. My mother stood stiffly in a corner, arms crossed. You collapsed from severe hypoglycemia, exhaustion, and dehydration, the doctor said. Your body is under extreme stress. Have you been skipping meals? Overworking? My dad looked at me with panic. Why didn't you tell me? Why weren't you taking care of yourself? I wanted to answer, but my mother spoke first. She's exaggerating, she said sharply. She's dramatic like that. If she organized her life better, she wouldn't have enough. My dad thundered. It was the first time I had heard him raise his voice like that. He walked toward her slowly, breathing heavily. You told me she was doing fine, he said, eyes narrowing. You said she didn't need anything. You told me she was managing. She does manage, and Hira needed that money more. That money was for her. He growled. All my life you've made her feel like she doesn't deserve help, like she doesn't deserve love, like her needs don't matter. My mother opened her mouth to argue, but my dad stopped her. Where is the money? He demanded. Well, Where? She admitted finally. It's gone. I gave it to Hira. She's your daughter too. But you have 2 daughters, he said softly. And you've only ever treated one like she exists. Silence. Tense. Cold. Unforgiving. When my mother realized there was no defending this, she tried turning toward me. You should have told me you were struggling, she said. You know I can't read your mind. Something inside me cracked, but not the kind that breaks, the kind that finally releases. I sat up slowing, voice shaking but steady. You never asked, I said. You never looked. The only time you see me is when I'm doing something for you. The rest of the time, I'm invisible. She flinched. And every time I needed something, you told me someone else needed it more, that I didn't deserve it, that I could handle it, that being strong meant being alone. My chest tightened. I collapsed because of you, I whispered. Not because you took the money, but because you've spent my entire life convincing me that I'm not allowed to need anything. For once, she didn't have a comeback. My dad looked at me with tears in his eyes. You don't have to live like this anymore, he said. I'm taking you with me. My mother's head jerked up. You can't just... I can, he said firmly, and I will. I packed my things slowly, gently, almost ceremoniously. Not because I was sad, but because leaving a life where you were never truly seen is its own kind of freedom. My mother watched from the living room, arms folded tightly as if holding herself together. She didn't apologize, didn't admit anything, didn't stop me. She only said one thing as I picked up my final bag. You'll regret choosing him over your family. I looked at her for a long moment. I didn't choose him over my family, I said quietly. I'm choosing myself. For the first time. And then I walked out. Living with my dad wasn't glamorous. It wasn't perfect. But for the first time in years, I could breathe. He helped me pay my fees directly. He made sure I ate. He reminded me that I wasn't a burden, that rest wasn't weakness, that asking for help wasn't shameful. My body healed slowly, my spirit even slower. But healing isn't meant to be rushed. Sometimes it takes losing the place you grew up to finally find the place you belong. Months later, as I stood on stage receiving an academic award, I scanned the room for my dad, who was cheering like he was at a cricket match. For the first time, I didn't look for my mother. And it didn't hurt, because I finally understood something. Being the forgotten daughter didn't mean I was unworthy. It meant I had to choose myself in a world that refused to choose me. And I finally did.